So here in NetBeans, I have an empty project. There is nothing over here. There's a buffered reader statement for taking input from the user. There's a system.out.println which says enter the numbers, right? The user is going to enter something on the right hand side, and that gets stored inside this variable int a. And over here inside int b, there are two numbers, right? And now there are no, I'm not using double or float over here because we're only talking about integers. So let's go ahead and verify the first condition. The first thing is both numbers are 0. In that case, the LCM becomes 0, right? So I'm going to say if a is 0 or b is 0. Now we need a variable to store this LCM value, right? So I'm going to go ahead and say int LCM equals to 0, all right? So here I'm going to say LCM is 0 in that case if both are 0, right? That's one of the cases. There's another case over here. If you guys remember, one of the thing is this: both the numbers are same, 4 and 4. The LCM equals to 4 in that case. So I'm going to say if a equals b, the LCM is a, right? Now here's the weird thing. If you guys probably noticed, this is pretty weird and this is actually wrong. Here, if a is 0 or b is 0, we are saying the LCM is 0, right? And here we are saying if a equals b, the LCM is a. Actually, these two conditions are not distinct. Think about this: 0 and 0, both the numbers are equal, right? So it's gonna run this because one of the numbers is 0, and it's also gonna run this because a equals b, right? So that is not a good programming style. We should have distinct if-else conditions to ensure that we don't have bugs in our program. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have an else over here instead. If one of the numbers is not 0, then only I'm gonna go ahead and test for this. So now if both numbers are 0, so it's gonna be over here a is 0 or b is 0, the LCM is gonna be 0. If both numbers are not 0, then it's gonna go ahead and test for a equals b, alright? So this condition, the entire thing, it's gonna come inside this else condition over here. Now here, since one of the numbers is not 0, inside this else part, you're absolutely certain over here that a number with 0 cannot enter this place, right? Because it's gonna go over here. If anything is 0, if one of them is 0, it's gonna go over here. If the other one is 0, it's gonna go over here. If both are 0, it's still gonna go over here, right? That means inside the else part, we are only left with numbers when they are non-zero, right? So here there are three things that are possible. You can have three types of numbers, right? You can have 4 and 5. You can have 5 and 4 as the two numbers. You can have 5 and 5 as the two numbers, right? So in this case, 5 and 5, we have tested a equals b over here. Otherwise, there are other two conditions. We can say something like this: else if you see 4 and 5, those are our two numbers, then in that case a is less than b, right? There are only three things that can happen. Otherwise, it's pretty obvious. Since a is neither equals to b, it's nor less than b, that means it's greater than b, right? That's going to be the last else over here. So at this point, we have completely divided the program into our set of conditions. So now let's go ahead, put the LCM for each case. Now here, if a less than b, now again we talk about different things over here. 4 and 7 can be the two numbers, 4 and 8 can be the two numbers, right? But if you see this case, b, which is 8, a, which is 4, right? This 8 is a multiple of 4, right? So what we do is first we take the bigger number b and we test for this condition whether they are multiples of each other. So I'm going to take b, that is the bigger number, divide that by the smaller number, take the remainder. If it's perfectly divisible, 8 by 4, the remainder is going to be 0. So in that case, I'm going to put the remainder as 0 and check if that is going to happen. Otherwise, so now if you take the numbers 4 and 8, they are going to fall in this category. If you take the numbers 4 and 7, they are going to fall in this category because 7 is not a multiple of 4, right? So here the LCM is going to be the bigger number, which is b, simply, right? In this else part, what we are going to do is something I'm going to do in the next bit, not now. So here, let me go ahead. Again, in the else part here, this bigger else, if you remember, if a equals b is one of them, if a is less than b is the other one, a greater than b is the third one, right? So here, in this case, what is happening is you have numbers like 8, 4, you have numbers like 8, 5, something like this. If you see this one, a is always bigger than b in this else condition, alright? So if you take a as 8, b as 4, here if you observe, a is an exact multiple of b, right? So again, we have to check for the same condition over here by putting this if else over here, right? However, if you take the bigger number, which is a over here, smaller number is b over here, which is your number is 8, your number 4, take them, divide them, find the remainder. If that is equals to 0, then your LCM is the bigger number, which is a, right? Otherwise, if you have the numbers like 8 and 5, which are not multiples of each other, we go inside this else part, right? So this else part we're going to see in the next vid. So let me go ahead first and test this for the basic conditions which we have derived so far, and see if the LCM is working perfectly. It's a complex program, I know that, but if you guys see the complete vid, you can watch this over and over again, right? So let me go ahead and run this. Control S, Shift F6, enter the numbers, both of them are 0. It's not printing anything. Okay, let us go ahead and print the LCM at the bottom over here by saying system.out.println. I'll put a string inside this by putting a double quotes. I'm going to say LCM equals. Now I need to add the variable which LCM which we calculated. We need to add them by putting a plus sign, because we are adding a data type and we are adding a string by concatenating them, right? Let me go ahead and run this. Control S, Shift F6, enter the numbers 0 0. The LCM is 0. 4 0. LCM is 0. 0 4. LCM is 0. 5 5. LCM is 5. 4 8. LCM is 8. Take any number. 6 12. The LCM is 12. 12 6. LCM is 12. But if you put 7 and 5, the LCM is 0, right? It's saying this because, let me tell you, A is bigger than B, which means we are over here, right? Here A is less than B. In this else part, we are over here at this point, right? We have the first number 7, second number B, which is not a multiple of each other, which means we are over here, and we have not written any code for this. So in the next vid, I'm gonna go jump into this part and tell you how to do this, and our LCM program is over, alright? So if you like what you saw, please subscribe to my channel, comment, let me know your thoughts. I would love to hear from you guys. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next vid. See you later. Have a nice day.